Milí diváci, srdečne vás vítam pri dnešnom podcaste, v ktorom sme si zavolali veľmi výnimočného hostia, Joea Townsenda z Trinity Laban konzervatória v Londýne. Budeme sa rozprávať v angličtine, ale pripravili sme pre vás titulky, takže poďme na to. Moje meno je Irena Adamová. Joe, we are very happy to have you here. Even though your flight is in like 2 hours, we are very happy that you find time and just speak to our viewers in this podcast. Welcome.
Thank you very much. It's so nice to be here, and thank you for welcoming me to Kozice. I just had a fantastic 3 days immersed in this fantastic college and school where people just seem to be music, theatre, dance just bursting out of everywhere, and it's really great. So it's great to be here.
Thank you, Joe. Thank you for that. Can you tell us where did you come from and what's your occupation actually?
Sure. Yeah. Well, I'm a violinist. I'm a musician, a composer, and educator, and I'm head of collab at Trinity Laban Conservatoire of Music and Dance in London, which is a very lovely place and next to the river, in a very beautiful old building.
Oh, you did tell me it's a historical old building by the river. And
Yeah.
it must have very special atmosphere there.
Yeah, you'll have seen it in Thor and Pirates of the Caribbean. They're always making films there. So
Oh, really?
yeah. The Crown. Yeah.
A Crown as well.
Yeah.
Joe, you did spend with us here 3 days.
Yeah.
And you've been seeing our students, and they've been playing for you and trying to show you what we are actually doing here. What are your impressions?
Well, I think it's been amazing seeing the range of music people are playing. So first day I saw music, and then dance, and dance the next day. And the choir singing, and traditional Roma music, and then also dance, Slovakian dance, and a bit of ballet, and something. Today I saw this fantastic theatre piece as well, which blew me away. I don't speak Slovakian, but the acting was so good that I understood it anyway. So and I think it's so great just seeing people expressing their Roma identity through Roma culture and music, and it's so special, which is that's my big take home from this.
Have you ever heard about school like this somewhere?
No, I mean, I know that Budapest, they had sort of a Nota school, but I think this is very different, because this is like you've got kids of all ages, and under the legendary leadership of
You maybe heard about the Sastagu.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And I think I just love the way that people that you've got some incredibly talented students here, but the way people learn is different as well. So of course you have a fantastic violin teacher who teaches all that bit classical, but you've also got somebody teaching Roma music and sort of maybe sort of Nota, Hungarian Nota, and then the choir singing traditional, and of course the college that I came from started its life as 150 years ago as a choral, with choral and voice.
From church, no?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, you've done your research. The founder was the founder of the college. Father Benavia Hunt was in the 19th century was shocked at how bad the quality of singing was in churches. So he said, right, I'm gonna.
So that was the impulse.
It's the impulse to make something, and I think history of education is full of people who go, I've got this vision. I'm going to improve singing, and then of course it became for orchestral study, and then.
It grows,
and it took on jazz, and I'm also head of popular music, so now we do popular music, and there's musical theatre, and there's contemporary dance, and And I think that's very exciting, yeah. And similarly here, you know, it started out of one, you know, one direction, one thing, and then you've got, you know,
it was very. It has now we have much younger history, but it's going to grow as well.
And I mean, I found really interesting is just the way people learn. I mean, the oral ability of the students is fantastic. You know, you sing a melody or you play a melody, and they follow. Everybody follows each other with great detail, because a lot of the time the ensemble playing is not mediated by a score.
Yeah, Romas are very famous for this. That they actually, even if they don't know like notes, they are not learning in school, they are able to play any kind of music just to hear by the ear.
And this is very much in the culture as well, and you know, the idea of stories being passed on and cultural identity passed on and reinforced.
Tradition.
And I think that the students who come here and the teachers and the things that you do is like as a role model for young people everywhere, in particular Roma, but I think just, you know, not just Roma people, I mean everyone.
Joe, I wanted to ask you about, I know that there is a plan, as you mentioned, you are the head of the collab. Is there a possibility, or can you see our students to go and collab at this festival with the other students?
Well, we in Collab, which happens every February, we've got 1,000 students, and they take part in 80 to 90 different projects over 2 weeks. And the idea is that you try something that's out of your comfort zone, that is maybe new.
Learn something new.
Yeah, creative. You know, you don't just sit there and rehearse a piece of music all week. You explore.
And you exchange as well.
And you exchange ideas, swap skills. So you might be a double bass player and you want to explore dance, so you can do that. Or you might want to play dance. You might want to play your double bass with dance and think about poetry or think about film.
So if I understand well, students meet and they create some kind of idea together.
Yeah.
And there are no teachers to like tell them and guide them. They are completely free with their ideas.
Some you can, but every project has teachers attached, but we don't have a teacher in the room all the time.
Okay, so they do rehearsals by themselves and they create by themselves as well.
But projects have leaders. Sometimes they're students, sometimes they're teachers. You know, we might have a concert pianist. He goes, I want to run a project about utopia, or I want to run a project about gothic horror stories with piano.
Oh, okay.
And you know, and they go away, and it gives people a chance to really practice their piano, but then finding a context to bring it together. The teacher will be there, but the students have to find their own equilibrium, because I think at the heart of a lot of good education is about empowering the student. So you're not telling them what to do, you're helping them find out
their own ways, how to deal with the project.
So the type of teaching you would get would be like, it's not do it like this, it would be, the sort of teaching would be, oh, so tell me why you did it like that. And oh, that's interesting. So through questioning, the students make sense of what they're doing themselves, and they become reflective and critically reflective, and they collaborate and work together.
Are you making kind of a media archive from this festival?
We've got our website's got some stuff, and we've got some projects. There's obviously films, and we've got phones and Instagram.
So people get together some kind of
and people
that's recorded actually.
Yeah, and we believe. I mean, I think what's particularly interesting, our connection with Kozice is, I mean, we're an international institution. We believe that music should be available to everybody, and the people's music that is played should be the music of everybody, not just a canon of important classical music, but the music of
should be exposed,
should be representative, and every year we invite colleges from around the world to come and take part.
Can you mention some countries?
Yeah, sure. America, we have students from Michigan, from University of Southern California, and then
Asia, maybe?
Asia, from Korea, from Taiwan, from we've got some students from Singapore coming next year, and then across Europe. We've had, when this Brexit started to happen, I formed an ensemble called the Brex Change. We've had students from Estonia, from Holland, from Germany, just all around, and we just put 30 students from different countries in a room together to make something.
So do you think that our students should be able to join as well next year?
It'd be lovely to see. You.
Did you have ever Roma students there?
That's a really good question. So the reason I'm here was that my dear friend and colleague Zoltán Galyás was a student at Trinity Laban for 4 years.
Oh, that's how you get to know each other.
Yeah, we met one day and we walked down by the river and we were chatting, and I've always had a fascination and an interest in and through ethnomusicology and teaching in music, about music from Eastern Europe, but particularly from Romania. And I went, and we just discussed and discovered he was Roma, and we started a long friendship.
Then his roots came up actually during this conversation that he is Roma. Okay.
And then we didn't actually play together then, but then we had a little jam at one point, which was really nice. And then he went and studied at Royal Academy and became an accompanist and got great distinction and awards, and it was fantastic. And of course now he's playing, he's making a great, good living as a musician, and he's also playing with lots of fantastic people.
You met
he invited me to come over.
He invited you. So Zoli actually invited you here to school.
He said, "You've got to come and see this school. Come." And I was like, well, I'm really busy. But I thought, it's too good an opportunity. So
we are anyway very happy that you did find time to come and see us.
But it's amazing just to see. So I've seen, Roma music played in Norta, in restaurants or on the street, or even in Concertgebouw. I've seen. But to see a school of people playing at all different levels, and some to an incredibly high standard, is really, really inspiring.
And this is actually your first experience with Roma music on an academic floor, yeah?
Yeah.
Academic ground.
Yeah, exactly. And it's fantastic. And I think that you put people from different cultures or different disciplines. I don't just mean sort of background culture, but I mean, different musical or dance. We even have projects with cooks sometimes, because, why not, and you bring them together and you see what happens, and then, sometimes it's not as successful as others, but always the energy put in by the students and the staff as well, create something rather special, and I think there's room for understanding more about Roma culture within. It's very important.
Joe, I don't know if you are aware about the situation here in the school, about students that some of the students are really coming from a very humble background. They have lots of obstacles to come even every day to school. Our school is focused not only for kids who are very talented and for which it's very easy to play the instrument but also we are focused on kids from actually this very humble background who doesn't have so much opportunities. Did you ever heard about the conditions here in Slovakia, how Roma are living here, or have you ever heard about?
Yeah, I mean, I'm aware of the situation. Yeah, I buy through. I mean, Zoltan will tell me about it, but also you can read about the sort of extreme hardship and poverty that a lot of the large amount of the Roma community suffer through. And there's we have am I right? I think there's about 100,000 Slovak Roma in the UK.
Yeah, lots of families from Slovakia got really integrated in UK, and they had lots of opportunities for them to get a job, so make their lives of their children better, and they went through studies, which is very sad. On the other hand, that in Slovakia they didn't have this opportunity. Yeah. So we are actually just the one school which is giving opportunity to all kinds of range of kids, from different backgrounds.
I think it's really important. Yeah, no, absolutely. And you've said it. I think it's really important. I mean, in the UK, we also have people from more disadvantaged backgrounds, and it's really important as music educators that we try to find ways to give them a proper education, give them a chance to play. Otherwise, it would just be people who could afford to give their children lessons on a regular basis from the age of 4 to get to a high level. So we really believe, and I mean, I think it's a part. We believe that that's right, and we are always trying to get the government to give more money and to also bring more music in schools. More or less. More or less. I know. I mean, we've had a massive cut in funding for the arts. Massive cut in funding for the arts, and for arts in education as well. It's important to put lots of money into science, technology, education, engineering, maths, but the arts are so important. They're so important now. Creativity. I mean, these days of artificial intelligence, it's creativity that makes us distinct from all the automated tasks. Because
what is there left for people after this everyday, struggle to go to work, and there is only arts, there is only music, there is people have to have some kind of dreamy kind of way to just get away from the reality sometimes.
Yeah. Well, no,
and nowadays they don't take it really as a very important part of the life.
But the making music, we have always made music as humankind. I'm not talking about English or Roma or different. Human beings have always made music for the last 100,000 years. It's what we do.
It will never stop.
And until recently, we haven't been able to record it. And only in the last 120 years, we've been able to record music. We've had to make the music ourselves. And playing music, even if you're a great violin virtuoso, you still make music with other people. So music is a social act. It brings people together. But also the discipline of learning to play a musical instrument takes a lot of focus. It takes concentration. It takes brain power. It takes coordination. It takes determination. You have to be prepared to make mistakes. It's hard work. But then when you sit and play with people, it should be fun and a
so
great
much
thing.
Joy.
So you put stuff in and you get a lot out. And I really believe that it's so important in education. Whether it's here or whether it's at my college. Well, my college, is slightly different. I mean, we believe in spreading music out to the whole world and playing all kinds of different types of music. It's a high level, high standard. It's a conservatoire.
I think it's a great way to bring people together.
Yeah.
Because music has only one language. Yeah. So they all speak the one language when they play.
I mean, we had this great session yesterday. I mean, they played and I got up and played with them, and then Zoltan made me play some nota.
So what did you actually play with students?
I played some music that I transcribed off a CD many years ago, and it was like a sort of old gypsy, and so Sandor Lakatush and
Robert Lakatush or
Sandor
Lakatush.
That's
the old recordings.
You know, it's just like, oh, so beautiful. And we played, and I didn't want him to ask me to do that because you guys are so good at it. But I had a go. And then we played some jazz, because I play a lot of, play jazz violin. And I played some Irish and Scottish, and you know, and I played an English folk tune from where I'm from.
I'm sure
you know,
we have this recorded as well, and that we can put this as a part of the podcast as well after what Joe just said.
Yeah, and I was sort of showing the violins like how to, what you call voice leading, you know, good notes to play over a chord progression, and we had, but with no speaking, this is the point I was making, you know, with no speaking at all, we managed to communicate, and that's really great. And they go, you know, the choir, they get up and they sing Jelem Jelem, you know, which is a gypsy Roma.
Oh, you're aware of it?
Yeah, I heard what's his name? A Serbian singer, but then also when I was in Romania, people know it as well. It's like a kind of universal song. So.
It is. Joe, what would you like to tell to our students? What would you consider as a very important thing in your professional life? I'm glad you asked me that. I think there's a number of things to keep yourself together as a musician. One, most important, fire in the belly. You've got to want to play. You've got to be motivated to play. Yeah, you know, I could say you've got to work really hard, but if you're motivated, you're going to work really hard. I think really value the people you're working with, and that's really good. And then just remember to look after yourself, get fresh air, have a nice walk. Psychohygiene, as we say.
Yeah, yes, exactly. Because, you know, post lockdown, you know, we had it in the UK, you had it here. You know, the whole world
marked by this,
and
especially students.
The adults and teachers have been marked by it, but when you see the impact that it's had on our teenagers and young people coming into our college and coming into the schools, you know,
it's quite devastating.
It's had a massive impact. So, and the way we can do that is to look after your mental health. You know, go for walks, breathe, find something. You know, work really hard and on your music and all of that. But find something. You know, find something that you like, that is, you know, takes you away from the digital world. That takes you, walk in something green. Like a wood.
Can I ask you to now look at the camera and just say a few words for our viewers?
Yeah. So, thank you very much for inviting me. It's just absolutely brilliant visiting here. I would almost say it's so inspiring, almost life-changing, seeing the passion that everybody has. So all I would say now is just like, enjoy what you do. Work hard, say hi to your families, and go for walks in the country. and thank you all very much.
Joe, it was lovely to having you here with us. Thank you for your time, and I'm looking forward to see you again.
Thank you.
Ďakujeme za pozornosť.
Acen devleha.
Okay.
Bravo!